Hello yogis, and welcome back to Three-Legged Dog Yoga. I am Lindsay, and today's class is Yoga for Weight Loss Part 2 on abs. So we're going to really focus on our cores. It's going to be a fiery practice again, nice and strong. You might need a couple of blocks for a few of the poses, but you should be pretty okay for most of them, and it's suitable for all levels. So let's get started. So we're going to start today in child's pose. So let's just come down to the mat, untuck the feet, bring the heels of the feet to the sit bones, and then we're just going to crawl our hands out forward. Nice and slowly. And then just sink down. Sink that chest down into the mat. Relaxing the forehead, reaching out with the fingers. And let's just start focusing on the breath here. Starting to elongate the inhales and the exhales. Inviting that Ujjayi breathing if you're familiar with it. And as we move through this practice today, really bringing the focus onto that breath. When we're feeling like we can't hold the pose any longer, just bring that awareness to the breath and push through for that next breath. There's a wonderful quote I heard once. I have no idea who said it. But it said, yoga begins when you want to get out of the pose. And this could not be more true. So I invite you to really challenge yourself today. And let's lift the hips up into tabletop. Bringing our hands underneath our shoulders, our hips underneath our knees, and we'll untuck the toes. Let's start here today, finding a nice grasp on the mat with the fingers, so all of the fingertips are engaged, and we'll inhale, just hover the knees. Keeping a nice, stable core for this, breathing, making sure we're not arching, or we're not overarching or underarching our backs. And just starting to feel that warmth. Making sure we're breathing. And then exhale, knees come down. So let's come into some bird dog. So reach that right foot out behind you and then squeeze the glutes, lift it up. Lift that left arm to meet it. Reaching out through the fingers and the toes. We're going to move through some pulses here. So on the inhale, stretch out nice and wide. And then exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale. Elbow to knee. One more like that. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale. Elbow to knee. And release that side. We'll switch it up. So tuck the toes on the right foot. Stretch that left out behind you. Squeeze the glutes and lift it up. And then reach out with that right hand. Big inhale. And exhale. Knee to elbow. Inhale, reaching out forward. Exhale, knee to elbow. Last one, reaching forward, and exhale, knee to elbow. Awesome, bringing that knee down. Let's walk our hands forward a little bit, scooch the hips up to the sky, coming into our first downward dog. Maybe walking out that dog a little bit, bending through the knees, pressing through those hands as we reach our shoulders up to the sky. And then we're going to roll forward into a plank. So keeping our shoulders above our wrists here, keeping a nice long spine out through the tailbone, all the way out through the tops of the heads. And breathing, really using those fingers, gripping into the mat. And then we'll roll onto our right foot. Inhale that left arm on top. Reach up to the ceiling, pressing through that the right hand. Checking in with the hips, trying to bring them up towards the ceiling if they're sinking a little bit. Feeling the shaking in that right arm. One more breath. And then exhale, let's bring that left hand back to the mat. Roll all the way over to our left side, and we'll do it again on the other side. Reaching up high with that right arm. Focusing on the breath here. And exhale, bring that hand down to meet the left. Shoot those hips back up to the sky. Find your downward facing dog. You're welcome to find child's pose here if you need it. Really gripping those fingers into the mat as we push our shoulders out and away from our ears. And let's shift our weight onto the left foot. Inhale that right foot up. And then we're going to exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, press out with the right foot, lift it up. Keep the hips square. Exhale, knee to nose. One more like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to nose. And we'll find the floor for that right foot. And we'll switch sides. Big inhale with that left foot. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose. And then finding the left foot to the floor, we'll widen our legs and come into a child's pose. Taking a breath here, catching the breath. Feeling that warmth that we've created throughout the body. I'm just taking a moment to reset. And then let's gently press our way back up to downward facing dog. Hips shoot up towards the ceiling. And then we'll walk our feet up to our hands. And then we'll just slowly roll up, coming all the way up to mountain, one vertebrae at a time. Rolling the shoulders back, staying at the tops of our mats. I'm just gonna spin this way so you can see. At the tops of our mats in Tadasana, mountain pose, feet are hips width. Shoulders are rolled back, maybe closing the eyes for a moment here. And just feeling all that energy flowing through the body. Awesome, let's inhale our arms up. And then exhale, we're gonna shift our hips over to the left side and then gently lean over to the right side. Trying to keep a nice long stretch along that left side so we're not collapsing in, that left shoulder is rolling up and back. And our knees are gently bent. So giving a nice little bend in the knees. And then breathing. Inhale back through center. And we'll switch sides. Scooch the hips over to the right side and then gently lean over to the left. Reaching out with those hands. Keeping a nice strong core here. And then inhale through center. Exhale, hands back down to your side. Moving on. I'm going to come into an extended side angle. So let's take a big step back with our right foot. Bend into the left knee. Pressing out through the outside edge of the back foot. Inhale, arms out to warrior two. And then here's where you might need a block to help you out. If not, we're gonna reach the arms forward and then inhale that right arm up and overhead as if we have our beach ball. Remember this one? I always used to laugh when this happened in class. It's a hard one. But we're gonna stay here a couple breaths. Keeping that right shoulder rolling up and back. And then inhale, straighten the legs, pivot the feet both to face the short edge of the mat. And then let's just bend at the hips coming into a forward fold. So we don't need to come down too far for this. It's just our transition pose here. We're just staying here for one moment. Taking a nice deep breath. And then gently inhale, hands to the hips. Come all the way back up. And we'll just pivot our right foot forward to 90 degrees. coming into our warrior two on the opposite side. Inhale, reach forward with that right arm. And as we exhale, we reach over the head with that left arm, flip that right palm up to the sky, coming into a variation of our extended side angle on the right side. Nice big breaths here, remembering that yoga starts when you want to get out of it. Trying to squeeze for one more breath. And then inhale, straighten that leg. Pivot the feet back through center, and we'll just come through one more forward fold. So hinging at the hips, keeping a nice flat back here. If you can reach the floor, great. If not, you can keep the hands on the hips. Getting into a nice gentle stretch for our hamstrings, just in the transition. And then we'll pivot our left foot as we step back to the top of the mat. And let's widen our feet, pointing them about 45 degrees to the outside of the mat, bringing the feet to the outer edge of the mat, and then we'll slowly squat down into our yogi squat. Just coming down to seated through our squat. And just taking a moment here, maybe pressing the elbows just beneath the knees, giving the groin a bit of a stretch on the way down. And then we'll release the hands, just whoop, slowly roll onto the sit bones. Maybe scooching a little bit further back on your mat. We'll inhale those legs up for Navasana. Arms come out beside. Trying to keep a nice tall spine here, so we're not rounding into it. If you do find that you're rolling backwards, just prop something underneath the butt, underneath the glutes. And then just staying here for one breath. And then ever so slowly, let's come down to lying down. So working with the breath, just slowly starting to lower down. If you want a bit of a challenge, straighten the legs a bit more as we go down. Slow as you can. Awesome work. Bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. Shuffle my microphone over here. Bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. Just come into a few twists to close our practice here. So let's shuffle the hips over to the left side and then let the knees fall over to the right. If you'd like a block in between the knees here, you're welcome to grab it. Trying to keep that left shoulder glued to the floor here. And just starting to slow down that breath. Giving our lower backs and our core a nice release before we close the practice. And then inhale back through center. Let's bring the hips back to neutral and then scooch them over to the right side. And same thing, let's roll our knees over to our left, reaching out with that right hand, keeping that right shoulder glued to the floor. And you're welcome to bring your gaze over the right hand if you are so inclined. Personally, I like it in the center, but to each their own. It is your yoga. Chewy has so kindly brought me a sock. And we'll stay one last breath here. And then inhale the knees back through center. Shuffle those hips back to neutral. And we'll just slowly roll back up to seated. Coming into a cross leg. Just relaxing the shoulders down the back. Maybe closing the eyes for a moment. Hands fall gently on the knees. And just taking a moment of appreciation for showing up on your mat today. Moment of appreciation for putting in the work. And we'll close our practice today with one big sigh. So exhale all the air out. Big inhale in. Exhale, sigh it out. And that's our practice for today. I hope that your core feels nice and fired up, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time. Boop.